How would you feel if your super was invested in nuclear weapons companies? Well, in Australia, there's a high chance it is. We looked at the holdings of our 14 biggest public super funds and found that 13 of those invest their members' money in nuclear weapons. This might seem strange, especially if your super fund says things like, "We believe in building a sustainable future," or "We do what's right with your money." Some funds do actually exclude so-called controversial weapons, at least from their ethical options. But their definition of controversial weapon includes, for instance, chemical or biological weapons, but not nuclear weapons. In 2021, Quit Nukes and the Australia Institute analysed the investment portfolios of Australia's largest super funds. We found that most of them invested in companies involved in nuclear weapon production and development, such as Airbus, Honeywell, or Thales. So, how are super funds tracking? As of December 2023, all of those funds, at the exception of Host Plus, continue to invest in nuclear weapons companies. This adds up to $3.4 billion worth of your money invested in nuclear weapons companies. At the top of the list, Australian Super, who claims to be Australia's most trusted fund. They invest almost $1.5 billion of Australians' money in nuclear weapons companies. Together with Spirit Super, Australian Super also includes nuclear weapons companies in its socially aware option. Aware Super held the greatest percentage of its default MySuper portfolio invested in nuclear weapons companies, with investments in 16 companies. $3.4 billion is money invested by Australians for their retirement. Are nuclear weapons really where we want to put our money? In 2021, the world got the first legally binding international agreement to comprehensively prohibit nuclear weapons, the UN Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. It says that as long as nuclear weapons exist, nuclear war is an ever-present risk to a safe and sustainable future. And needless to say, nuclear war would also be disastrous for global financial markets. Our research shows that there is a clear disconnect between what members want and think their funds are doing, and what superannuation funds are actually doing. As the Australian government is considering joining the UN Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, it is past time for Australian superannuation funds to meet with international obligations and member expectations. Together with ICANN Australia and Quit Nukes, we are calling on super funds to include nuclear weapons in their definition of controversial weapons, and to exclude nuclear weapons companies across the whole of their portfolios.